Arsenal completed the signing of Calafiori. Chris, you touched upon this before when we were talking about Liverpool, who they're in for. I think if they really wanted to get this deal done, I think they'd have been far more active in this one. If they want that type of player, I do worry a little bit if like Gomez gets moved on and then you're going, have we missed out on the opportunity to buy the best Gomez upgrade or analog in terms of being able to play across the positions? That could come back to bite us on the
listen, I think it's a player that Liverpool were interested in. I think they rightly should have been interested in. What I will say is I think the need for that type of hybrid left-back, left centre-half has gone. Even off just 3 pre-season games, it doesn't look like that's where Liverpool are going. Last season when Trent was inverting, absolutely. But what our fullbacks are doing right now are real old school flying fullback type of thing. And I think about Ben White and Calafiori for Arsenal. They're very good at the defending side of things, but they're not doing what Kostas Tsimikas and Conor Bradley have done in pre-season games for us. So again, might be a brilliant long-term successor, but 45, 50 million, whatever it was, I forget what the figure was, for a backup left-sided centre-half to Virgil van Dijk. I still would have liked Liverpool to be interested, but have they got another idea of who that person is? And, do Arsenal... I think Arsenal see him as a left-back, to be honest with you, judging on their centre-defensive partnership, which is absolutely fucking sensational.
Because you mentioned before that Mark Gahey doesn't appeal to Liverpool, and that would have been your next go-to once Calafiori had gone, because like for like, almost can play in the same positions. And
Lloyd Kelly's gone as well, as he was another one who I think we'd have been.
That just players not.
And if Arsenal go and buy a genuine recognised number 9, their fullback roles change again, and you're asking those guys to get into advanced position and put balls into areas which they don't do at the moment. They almost go in search of the perfect goal, don't they? So it's really, really interesting to watch how it all unfolds.
You're seeing this, aren't you, Dan? Is that Arsenal and City? Well, City have done it already, but they're moving more towards 4 centre halves who can do it, and then obviously who can do a little bit more. And it seems like that's Arsenal are following that model, whereas Chris says it doesn't feel like we're going down that pathway. And again, whilst you at the moment we own Joe Gomez, so we've got the option to do a bit of that if we really need to. But yeah, he's a good player. I agree with the general sentiment there that if we were in for him, if we're in for a player like that and we've not gone harder on him, that could be a misstep. But from what we've seen so far, it just doesn't feel like a lot of the moves that we've seen, they feel like at the start of the summer when we had no idea what Liverpool were going to be doing, it made sense for us to be linked with these guys, whereas the more it kind of unveils itself, it starts to make sense that we're not in for it.
Oh, 100%, yeah. The requirements and what's good for this squad has definitely changed, as Chris says, in terms of the games that we've seen. All I'd say on Calafiori is he was more of an out-and-out conventional type left-back in the small sample size of games that he played there, which actually wasn't at Bologna. It was previous to that as well, a bit at Rome as well under Jose Mourinho. So
he's great going forwards.
He has got a bit more of that actual left-back stuff, so maybe would have fit a bit more into what we're doing now. But I think by and large, he's a centre-back. He probably wants to play centre-back. However, this Arsenal move, he's 100% playing at left-back, because one of their biggest weaknesses, along with what Steve said there in terms of the 9, but that's probably what we need to address next, was the Zinchenko, Kirill a little bit. We've never really nailed down Zinchenko, quite poor defensively for me. So I think Calafiori is a massive upgrade on that. In terms of what it means for us, I'm a little bit disappointed we missed out on him. It feels like he would have been a really smart addition, not a crazy fee either. So, and I guess the Gomez comparison, if you like, he plays it in such a different way because he's so right-footed, whereas Calafiori at least offers that left-footedness on that side and can go down the outside and whip balls and if required, so it would have been a different type of player as well. But yeah, all I'd say on it more generally, as opposed to what it does to Liverpool and what is at our disposal now in our squad, my biggest concern with Arsenal signing Calafiori is how much better it makes Arsenal.
Yeah, that's right. That's spot on.
Arsenal are boss, and they've just signed, and they've addressed one of their biggest weeknesses in signing a really talented footballer.
Them signing him and making themselves better doesn't mean it was the right move for Liverpool.
Yeah, no, true. But what it does do, again, at time of where we are right now, it moves them even further in terms of like points and distance in a race. It moves them probably further ahead of us, but it's time to address that, of course there is. But right now I think they've taken another step towards a title.
Yeah, they just continue to impress me in all facets at the moment.
No shock that Arteta's following Pep Guardiola's sort of
he emailed that to himself before he left.
But to be fair, for years the boot room lads all stepped up into the guy who had the job before them succeeded Paisley, succeeded Fagan, and that is a good thing that clubs do. That continuity.
I don't know whether we're going to be able to compete under Slot with what he does. I can't. It's too much of an unknown. It might just fall apart the second it gets to first contact with the enemy as far as the Premier League goes. But I am much more encouraged that we're not doing what those two teams are doing, because I just don't think it's sustainable to be a third. Did my
can't do Guardiola stuff and be better than Guardiola.
Did my twat in the other week where the 4-4-2 cover had the disciples of Pep. It's Pep Guardiola, and it's got Slot and Arteta and Alonso, and it had another, and it had who's the Maresca, and I was like, that fucking does my head in, because I don't want a disciple of Pep Guardiola. I want a guy who does his own thing. So actually, it's weird that if he'd come in and was like, right, it's 4 centre halves, and it's going to be like, and I'd be like, oh, fuck. Because
can't beat them at their own game.
No, because they're too established.
Guardiola's the best.
You've got to do it differently. You've got to put a variation on what those guys are doing. You've got to find a way to do a brand of footy that actually upsets what they do, and which we had under Klopp, but also have the malleability to still be able to put down the points that they're putting down against the rest of the league. So yeah, fine.